welcome to the crypto jungle. My name is Baloo the Bear, and here on the channel I keep crypto simple. We look at the price in the context of volume using the Wyckoff method. If that is something that interests you, then why don't you hit the subscribe button. We stream twice lately, twice a week lately, and what we do here, nonsense out there. So having a good understanding of the fundamentals to pair up with good technical setups is what we focus on the channel. So if you're new, welcome. In today's video, I want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is breaking out, man. Bitcoin is breaking out. So I want to talk about the breakout. It looks like we're about 30 seconds away from our daily close, just shy of where I wanted it to be, So grab a coffee if it's morning for you, and let's get right into it. Baloo the Sushi Bull. Yeah, so we're taking a look at Bitcoin on the daily. I've got my labels on here. It's just so that it's a little bit more of an educational approach to what's going on here. This daily close here, this daily candle close, this candle just by itself, this candle is a very bullish candle. This is, you've got a very large body, you've got barely a wick on the bottom, and you've got barely a wick on top. We didn't close above this high here, which I would have preferred to see. It would have been a much better, it's still a very good close, don't get me wrong, it's a very good close. I just really would have liked to see the candle body close. I think that this move is very bullish. We can speculate on the reasons as to why. I think it's just, we've gone through an accumulation. The accumulation has taken place. The whales have taken their positions. This makes a lot of sense given the on-chain data that we've been observing as I think they're referred to as sharks, a lot of shark accumulation. Big whales, not so much accumulating, just kind of holding their original positions, but sharks and retail absolutely accumulating and building up that, building up those positions. A little bit of a divergence between the price and the on-chain data. So liking what I see here, sign of strength, back up. We do need to break past these levels. We did wick above 48.3. This is a good sign. It looks like we're flipping green at the moment. The area to really start to get excited, for me at least, is right at around 42,700. 42,700 is that last high that we had right here before the transition to a downtrend. If we can break past that, honestly, we're going to take a pretty clear swing here at these other highs. Now, Plan B has been tweeting. He's been pretty accurate. Price predictions, people kind of get lucky, and it's a good opportunity for people who are on Twitter to gain popularity as they're very good at predicting price. Plan B's been nailing it, so I'll give credit where credit is due. And he's called for, I think, 68,000 or 63,000, I can't remember, for a price in October, which is kind of confluent with the Fibonacci extension. If we just pull a fib from this swing low here to this swing high and bring that down to the swing low, that brings us right at around $69,000, $69,500 for the 1.272 extension. So a very reasonable target where a lot of supply and a lot of traders will be targeting that area at the 1.272. So logical place to see some supply come back in if we do indeed begin to break up to the upside. We're also here on the RSI. We can see that we are breaking above the 60. So right here, we're looking at the 60 line. If we can get a clear break above the 60 on the daily, that's going to really indicate that we have a lot of momentum. If we do need to retrace from this point, look for kind of a bounce around this area at the previous high on the RSI. If you can bounce off of the RSI while on a support level, so what would that look like on our chart? Probably a support level right here at the previous little high right here. So if we can come back down to that $45,000 range, find support as well as test on the RSI, I think that would be a very logical place for a retracement if indeed it does occur. So in these types of situations, you're going to want to kind of monitor it on the smaller time frames to see if there is possibility of continuation. So you might go down to the hourly chart and just observe the structure of what's going on the hourly. It looks as though we kind of have just a consolidation to the upside that's just a persistent amount of rally. It's not a strong rally, and there is a little bit of a bearish divergence occurring here, so maybe we do need to come back down and reset the RSI back down to the 60 before we can continue to the upside. So let's take a look at some of these other assets. The alts are still kind of lagging this move. Alts are moving, don't get me wrong, but the alts are overall are kind of lagging this move. Let's take a look at Ethereum, and then we'll get into an altcoin that is certainly not lagging the move, and that is AXS. But yeah, it's less of a, if Bitcoin is up here at the previous high, testing that high, Ethereum is not. Ethereum is lagging in structure, although Ethereum has just broken out of its downward sloping line of resistance. So this is a good, we're seeing positivity in the market. We're seeing structural changes in the technicals that are showing us bullish price potential. It's all about probabilities and potential. So the probabilities are increasing to the bullish side and the potential is higher numbers. So we're not out of the woods yet. We still have quite a few milestones to get ahead of before we can, assume that we're going full bull here. But it's looking good. It's a positive move. It's a healthy move. I like the close, I like the price action of this move, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we did come down for a retest and maybe even a fake out breakout. It's entirely possible. You have to entertain all options. So we do need to take that into consideration. Let's see what's going on with the chat. Blacksmith, how's it going? Patty, good morning. Kahuna, aloha, welcome. Plan B, August 47K, September 43, October 63, November 98, December 135. Good night. Good night for you. Well, good night. Have a good night. Okay, Patty, Tom from Melbourne, Australia, sunny Melbourne, welcome in. Slam free poetry, how's it going? Loving that 8-bit tunage, gotta have it. Good evening, Chris, Mr. JFK, the sushi bull. I am very bullish on sushi. If I was to pick a top 100 coin to be bullish on, for me it's sushi. Now, let's just take a look at sushi. Actually, the chart is wonky. The chart is very wonky. It's not a typical setup that I usually take. Like, this is a very strange consolidation. Don't get me wrong. The reason that I'm kind of narrowed in on sushi is just there is a big divergence in the fundamentals compared to its competitors. Sushi and Uniswap are not in the same ballpark. Uniswap is a shitcoin compared to Sushi in terms of its offerings. SushiSwap supports, I think, 11 different blockchains at the moment, and they're going to be onboarding the Polkadot ecosystem as well, so they will be an exchange for Polkadot. There also is rumors that they are late to deliver upon for the Trident upgrade, which is going to reduce gas fees and improve routing capabilities for odd pairs, as well as the NFT marketplace Shoyu, which is going to be a virtual reality gallery that you can log into with Oculus Quest or any other VR headset, as well as a traditional marketplace as well. But pretty bold claims. Excited to see what happens. Currently with the NFT marketplaces, they are kind of capped out at 50 megabytes for an upload, whereas Shoyu is claiming a 500 megabyte upload. So you're going to see a massive increase in quality if this does actually come to fruition. At this point, it's just pure speculation. But when I look at the top 100, there's a huge divergence between the fundamentals and the technicals on Sushi. And I think it has to do with the fact that the creator rug pulled at the beginning. So they did not start nice, okay? They copied Uniswap. They took the code and copied the Uniswap, forked it, and just made another competitor chain to Uniswap. The community didn't like that. Then, once Sushi gained in popularity, the creator, 0x Maki, basically pulled his liquidity. He was a large holder of Sushi and decided to sell into the DAO, and effectively it felt like a rug pull. He pulled a lot of Ethereum out of the pool and made the price plummet, and that left a really sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. But what that also allowed for is it allowed for a community to come together and really kind of own what it means to run a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. This is one of the healthiest DAOs that I've ever seen. I'm not in every Discord, I'm not in every DAO community, but as far as accomplishments in a decentralized format, they've got it kind of nailed. They've got it really dialed in. So I am quite bullish on the protocol. Is that necessarily reflecting in price? No, not at the moment. And the chart is a weird one. So please proceed with caution. There is a possibility for lower levels just as much as there is a possibility for higher levels as well. Chef Nomi, never forget. But the thing is, he's gone. Like he still exists. He's on Twitter, you know, he's still a part of the community, but he doesn't own a stake. So he can't rug pull again. You know, he doesn't own a stake. He sold his whole stake. Community owned and operated DAO. Fourth quarter rebalancing. Wait, what price is it safe to bet the farm? Safe to bet the farm. Let's take a look. What price is safe to bet the farm? Bet the farm at 52,000. Break at 52. There is no safe price, man. There's no safe price. You know, I should be referencing this chart more than I do because its structure is very good. There's some gaps, you know, everybody's worried about the fucking gaps, but the gaps don't have to fill. But yeah, we do have a higher candle on traditional markets. So technical traders who are trading the CME futures, that's going to be bullish for them. You know, we have a new high, so they're going to see that. They may cross-reference their exposure into the spot markets as well. They may check those charts. But if they are trading off of this chart, we have a buy signal for the CME, which is good. Did we fit in? There's a lot of use case for Ethereum. Ethereum is just getting better and better with a lot of the scaling solutions. We just had Immutable X launch on TikTok. So TikTok is launching their NFT project on Immutable X, which is a layer 2, a true layer 2 for the Ethereum protocol. So its final consensus is done on the Ethereum blockchain. I would love to see if OpenSea did that, if just OpenSea did that, the fees would go down so much. You would see, like right now we're at, you know, tens of dollars for fees. If OpenSea went to a layer 2, we'd be down in the pennies again. OpenSea is a massive, massive problem as far as the transactions, that and Uniswap. If we can get these dApps to just adopt a layer 2 and have the users go to the layer 2, so it has to be easy for the users, we're gonna see Ethereum back down into the pennies for transaction fees, which would be amazing. Is Curve worth a damn? So, pretty interesting question. Curve can kind of, I don't know, because there's some interesting tokenomics with Curve. And what Curve does, I've actually been kind of getting really into a better understanding of what a bonding curve is and why a lot of projects are scams. By manipulating the bonding curve. But yeah, let's just take a look at Curve right here. Let's take a look at the tokenomics on Curve DAO. So here's the biggest problem with Curve is look at the circulating supply. We have 397 million out of 3.3 billion available. So, you know, there's a capped max supply, but we have a lot of available inflation. It doesn't necessarily matter when the order book is marking things up, but this is a consideration for a lot of investors to take a look at, because there's a very long vesting period where there's going to be a high rate of inflation. Now, I don't know the finer details, but you know, it's kind of like there's a lot of time. I think the Curve DAO has a very long-term vision where they're not necessarily looking for investors today. You know, if you're going to be a long-term investor in Curve, you're talking about a 10-year investment where you dollar cost average for the next 10 years. It doesn't mean that we can't see price appreciation in the short to medium term as the market does, you know, get a little frothy. but it's, you know, very long-term accumulation. It could very well break out of here, and if it breaks out, it's going to mark up probably quite aggressively, but you do need to just consider the fact that it may not be a long-term hold for you, considering the amount of supply that can be added. And because this token's price is likely decided by the bonding curve, as you add supply, you dilute and you bring the price down. It's not up to the market to decide on price. In terms of the pools, it's up to the token supply to decide the price, which is kind of an interesting thing to consider that is unique to cryptocurrency. Losing my mind here on a brand new 20-inch TV. We love crypto gains. Well done. Take a look at Algo. Yes. So Algorand actually looks to be setting up. It's going to be, you know, it's not going to take off anytime soon, but we're in a very long-term accumulation on Algo, right? It looks as though it's kind of peeking its head out. So we've got our sign of strength. After the sign of strength, it comes in for its backup phase. Typically with the backup phase, what you're going to get is you're going to get a secondary trading range, or you're going to get some sort of pennant. So it looks as though we have a little bit of a bull pennant occurring right here, with possibility of a break of that pennant. Let's actually just redraw my lines here. We'll go with something like that. Yeah, so there's a break of structure. You know, that's common across the board for the most part. So it, you know, that's good. We're seeing that market wide. Not a lot of attention on Algorand at the moment. This is a blockchain that's going to really market itself as integrating with traditional finance and kind of emulating a lot of the products that are available in traditional finance, and be that bridge basically for the old world to enter the new world. So it is definitely a noteworthy project. They've got some pretty bold claims, and I don't know how ready traditional finance is to integrate into DeFi, as a lot of it is experimental technology, and there are some fundamental problems with DeFi. There's a lot of scams, there's a lot of price manipulation that happens in DeFi, so I don't know how ready the world is for these types of claims. However, you know, the facts are the facts. We're in a chart, we've been in a long-term accumulation, we've got our sign of strength, we've got our backup, and it looks ready for price appreciation. So if it starts to break out of this consolidation, I think that it would be a safe, or it would be a high probability position to take. This is one that we are keeping an eye on in the group. So if you want those signals for the entries, exits, take profits, all of that, then take a look at the cryptojungle.com, and we can keep you abreast of the situation on Algorand, along with all of the other protocols that we are looking at as well. So take a look if you are interested. Doing a little bit of a website update. So if some of the website doesn't really make sense, or there's repeats, I'm working on it. The website's in beta right now, getting ready for a relaunch. So there's going to be some grammatical errors and repeated text. You're just going to have to ignore that. And if you're not quite ready, just come into the free Discord. We have the Discord is spamming inside of the chat. So you can just join the Discord and become familiar with the community. Cardano. I tried to warn everybody, buy the rumor, sell the news, but Cardano, just, you know, it's got a hell of a community, a hell of a lot of die-hard Cardano fans out there. It's had a little bit of retracement, and I think it's kind of a healthy retracement. Let's actually pull fib retracement on this and see kind of where we're sitting at the moment. Damn near the 618. I don't think we'll go below $2. So it looks like we're finding support on the 0.5 right at $2, waiting to break past this high. So, you know, we're in a healthy zone for retracement. What we're waiting for is a turnaround on the trend. So what you're going to do is just drop a line right here at the daily close of the last high. once you get a daily close above this high, that is going to be a buy signal. So as soon as you see Cardano close on the daily above $2.33, that is a possibility that we are changing direction, we are changing trend. So be on the lookout for that. It has broken its downward sloping structure, just the same as a lot of other altcoins. They're just not doing it with the same veracity as Bitcoin, but they are breaking structure, they are changing trend. It's looking good for the market overall. So yeah, you know, Cardano's no different. We can see price appreciation inside of this asset as well. ICP, Cardano. So if I could sell Cardano, what should I buy? I don't know if selling... Here's the thing, you know, if Bitcoin goes bull here, we're setting up for the last leg of the bull market. And it's going to be a very highly correlated, high velocity move. And what a lot of people make mistakes of, by the way, this is probably when a lot of people in 2017 jumped in. They jumped in at this environment. A lot of people get way over diversified. And me personally, I don't find it necessary. The trades that I'm looking for right now are the ones that I'm going to carry to the conclusion of the cycle, regardless of the setups that come in the future. There will be setups, and I'll post them in the group for those that don't hold the positions and are looking for opportunities. But for my trades, I have a few, and I'm riding it to the end. You don't need to become so diversified. If you have winners, ride the winners. If Cardano is a winner in your portfolio, ride the winner. You know, I've been very public on this channel for not necessarily liking Cardano and having a lot of criticism towards Cardano, but my opinions are my opinions and they don't matter. What matters is the market. What matters is the price. What matters is what's going on based on the market participants. And the market participants have said that Cardano's price goes up. So, you know, you can embrace that. I wouldn't flip-flop too much because the compounding gains are so much more valuable than trying to continually get entries into high probability opportunities. So less is more for the next leg of the market would be my recommendation, which I'm not a financial advisor. You do you, and I can't really say which one will go better. But if you really want to scratch that itch, I certainly wouldn't close a whole position in an asset that has had such positive momentum and a positive community behind it to be its advocate for further price appreciation. So don't diversify too much. At the end of the day, you do need to be able to pull the trigger and sell. The more assets you have, the harder it is for you to sell. So keep that in mind as well. If we were to follow Plan B's prediction and hit $135,000 by December, how would you expect alts to perform, assuming that this is the market cycle peak? When would alt season hit? I think if we break past 50, what are we at? If we break past 50, 51, oh, that's CME. Let's go to spot on FTX. If you guys are not already on FTX, do it. Follow the links down below. Easiest way to support the channel. And I'm not just shilling because I get rewards, I'm shilling because it is literally the best exchange that I've ever used. If you're still on Binance, yes, there's less coins. There's less coins, but it is so much better. The things you're able to do, the spot margin, placing orders directly on a chart. I love FTX. Follow the links, sign up for FTX. And if you do sign up for FTX, you also get a free month in the group. So if we can get a break above 52.7, I think that is going to be giving the market as a whole a ton of permission, and we're going to see a lot of bullish follow through in altcoins. Now, if that, you're going to have to watch the 40 level of BTC.D. So BTC.D, for those who don't know, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. The Bitcoin dominance chart is measuring the dominance of market cap of Bitcoin. We have been range bound in this general area. This right here is an altcoin season. This is what an altcoin season looks like on Bitcoin dominance. Woo! That's an altcoin season. We are now consolidating. Once we get a continuation of altcoin season, it'll be a free fall on this chart, and that's what you're looking for. So the moment at which we break 40 structure, if the 40 break happens on a break of 52, then that's when altcoin season begins. And if the break happens, if 40% dominance falls after 60, that's when altcoin season begins. Or if it happens after a break of the all-time high, that's when altcoin season begins. But the main thing to pay attention to is once we break this structure and head to the downside, that will be the point at which altcoin season begins. So that's the chart that you need to add to your watch list. BTC.D, Bitcoin dominance. ICP. Let's take a look at ICP. That one was a shady project. Screaming at people, don't fucking buy this thing. You know, if you want that kind of, we all need a bear in our lives. Okay, YouTube is filled to the brim with bullish narratives. If you don't follow anybody bearish, hit subscribe right now. It's you know, you need a bear in your life to keep you level-headed. Looks like I'm losing my mic here. Give me back my microphone or my headset. I want to listen to music too. Uno momento. I like the tunes too. Come on now. ICP looking like it's going in for a double bottom. Come on, give me my tunes. Okay, so ICP looks like it's come off of a double bottom. All of the downside price has already occurred. Basically what you're looking for is a breakout of this consolidation. Still don't have any music. Give me my music. There we go. We're rocking now. No, it's gone again. Okay, anyways. So basically, you know, we're inside of this consolidation. When you're in a consolidation, the assumption is further consolidation. So we did kind of get a fake out breakout right here. Volume is decreasing. We want to see the volume kind of come back in, break above this level. Once we can break above this level, hold it as support, then you can see price appreciation. So you could front run this idea because we're in a bullish environment, but a lot of people are quite sour about this project. And I do think that node-based internet computing is a little far-fetched. I've seen these projects launch in the past. We saw, I think it was Substratum or Stratus or something like that, or maybe both. All of these types of protocols have launched in the past and they have failed. So for me, I'm not really bullish on ICP from a fundamental standpoint until they can do something, and until we see developers actually using this protocol, then I'm not going to get too bullish on it just yet. I think there's other opportunities here. Why do I not have my music? Icon, Hedra, H-bar. Everybody's talking about H-bar now. What's up with that? Why is everybody talking about H-bar? So much hype on H-bar. There's clearly a YouTuber hyping the hell out of H-bar. All right, well, no music for me. That makes charting less exciting. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? No, I know you guys have music. I want it too. I want the music. It's about me, my show, my music. Okay, so let's take a look at Icon. Icon's been one that's kind of forgotten, one of those lost chains. ICX, it's been so long. This is nice. This is a good chart. So this has the different phases. Basically, you know, you have your distribution right here. You know, you had your distribution, it broke down into the seller's climax. Then you have your kind of phase A where the volatility is decreasing. Then look at the volatility, just really, really tight price action. Then we go into this megaphone pattern where the volatility is increasing, the volume is increasing. This is looking good. This is looking like it has the potential for a breakout. So let's slap a trading range on it and see, see what we can see here. Yeah, I think something like this. So it's working on its backup right now. It's getting frisky. It's getting ready to go here. Looks like it's had a pretty nice pump. What is this candle? This is got a 24% daily candle. That's going to attract the market. That's going to get people wondering what the fuck is going on with Icon. Nothing's going on with it other than the fact that whales have accumulated it. That's all that's going on with Icon. So it's looking good. It's structurally in the same place, you know, of a lot of things. So if Icon is an asset that you're looking at, there is potential here. You know, we're gonna go a little bit closer, see where the retests could come. You'd be looking probably this general area right here for a potential retest if it did occur. So you'd be looking at $1.70, $1.75 could be a cheeky little entry on Icon. Hope that it holds, but there's also the possibility that we do come back down to the $1.30 mark as well. So at this point in the market, be careful with leverage, especially when you're buying breakout trades. Breakout trades, you need a lot of room. You need good, healthy stop losses. And having a good, healthy stop loss on leverage can wreck an account. This is not the time to be wrecking an account. This is also not the time where leverage is really needed. So please be careful if you are applying leverage out there. Give yourself some room, give yourself some breathing room, and have less of a hesitation to buy breakouts. That would be my recommendation to you. Doge, just for shits and giggles. Yeah, we can take a look at Doge. Luxo, isn't that an NFT project? Luxo, or is that something else? LYXE, Luxo on KuCoin. Hey, it's also on XDAI, interesting. Looks like we have a little bit of a pennant formation here. This is on the 4 hour. Let's get the big picture first. Oh yeah, no, it's looking good. You know, we would have wanted to become a participant down in this area right at around $13, but you know, if we can get a break out here, that's not a bad place either. Let's actually zoom back into the 4 hour. Now, here's the thing about consolidations that a lot of people get wrong. You know, they label a consolidation a bullish consolidation or a bearish consolidation, and that, to me, really overcomplicates it and is just not necessary. You just have a consolidation. Whichever way it breaks is how it breaks. So as long as something is in a consolidation, it's simply in a consolidation. It's not bullish, it's not bearish, it's just consolidating. And when the price decides on a direction, that's the higher probability setup. You'll get people really hung up being like, oh, we have a rising wedge, it's a bearish pattern. But you know, when it breaks, it goes to the moon, because when a bearish pattern breaks bullish, you get a lot of people FOMOing in. So just allow things to consolidate, and when they break, take the direction of the break. That's the higher probability setup. I'm liking the structure here. We have a nice retracement up to a rally, rounded bottom, looks like it wants to take off. Not financial advice, don't know what this is, don't know what it does. Don't like that it's only available on KuCoin, do like that it is available on HoneySwap, on XDAI. But yeah, you know, do your own research on this one. The technical setup looks good. And that's another thing that's really powerful about the technicals. In crypto, there seems to be purely technical traders and purely fundamentals / value investors. What we do here is we combine them both. Look for the technical setup, then see if it's worth your time. Don't do it the other way around. Don't look at the fundamentals and fall in love with a project and then try and force it into the technicals. It just doesn't work. Find those setups, find those high probability entries, and then back it up with the fundamentals to decide on your trading plan and decide on your your overall thesis for how you want to handle that trade. Do you think it's a shitcoin and you're just playing momentum, or do you think it's an undervalued project that has some legs? How do you determine ladder out points besides consolidation points? If you can't determine them, you can choose them yourself. You can't predict anything in any market, period, end of story. You can only form a plan that you agree with yourself you're going to follow. Predictions, you can anticipate areas of higher supply, but it's never a guarantee. And if you look in an area and you're like, oh, that's going to be a high area of supply, I'm going to sell there, and then you sell the whole position, there's a possibility it continues, and it continues much higher. So it's not about being able to predict. It's about being able to come up with a plan that you're happy with, that you listen to. So when you're looking at these kind of opportunities, like let's say this breaks out here and we have this swing high opportunity. One way that you could take a look is you could do a Fibonacci extension. So you could go from the low to the swing high, back down to the swing low, and you can just pick some points. You know, people trade fibs, so they're supply areas, but don't get all hung up on thinking that, you know, this is where the top will be, because you're just going to either fall short of a trading opportunity or you're going to never achieve your goals. So come up with a trading plan based on some high probability outcomes and go from there. So, you know, we got 2 points here. This is the 1.262 or 1.272 and the 1.618. Gives us a target of 32 to 37. There's probably going to be some supply that comes in at that area. If we just follow that up with a measured move of the triangle, there's confluence in that general area as well. Whenever you can find confluence, it's a good thing. So yeah, you know, there is no way to predict. Get it out of your head. Stop trying to predict. Stop trying to catch tops. Stop trying to catch bottoms. It's not going to happen. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your energy. It's a waste of your mental ability. What you should focus on is, if you are correct, if you are on the receiving end of a successful trade, what is going to be your plan? What percentage points are you going to eliminate risk? What percentage points are you going to take profit? What percentage points are you going to close a position? What percentage of the original position are you going to leave as a moon runner? These are the things that you need to ask yourself, not where do I think the top's going to be. Doesn't work like that. Tokenomics. Doge, the best coin. I think I did say that, didn't I? Yeah, that was a YouTube thumbnail. I was like, Doge, the best coin. Just trolling. Let's take a look at the old doggy coin. Why the hell not, right? You know, I was very loud about people getting into Doge. And, you know, I usually get loud a little too early. So I was loud, and I was loud at 20 cents and it went to 75. But the thesis was the same. It was a useless project and people were buying the pump. You need to accumulate during the accumulation period, and then you harvest on the markup, okay? You don't become a participant in markup with hopes that there will be higher levels. That's the time to take profits. You accumulate during the accumulation, and then once you've established a good campaign into the asset, once it starts to mark up and everybody's looking for entries and wondering where to buy and how, that's when you're selling. So, you know, this would be the point at which I would entertain those ideas of buying Doge. I do like this formation. I think that there's still a lot of pain out there in Doge as people were buying it. It's 75 freaking cents. So there's still a lot of pain there. When there's pain, there is not a very good amount of advocacy. There's not a lot of people giving the bull case for Doge. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. You know, we're kind of rounding out on a bottom here. I think this would be a possible entry if you wanted to be cheeky with it, but the momentum's just not really there. If we take a look at the volume too, volume is still in a decline. The market doesn't really care. The market's kind of just, there's other stuff out there. There's other stuff that's getting people excited. I'm not saying that Doge can't go up in price. I'm just saying that, you know, if you're going to be campaigning into this one, be patient, because it may not go when you think it will, and it may not last as long as you think it will either. So I think most of the actual price appreciation that you can get out of this asset is already done, but you could get one more leg. Is SLP likely to get back up to 40 cents at some point, like it did a couple months ago? I think that in the appropriate environment where speculation is running rampant, the Ronin DEX is launched and they need to fill the pools with SLP. If you take a look at the AXS staking pool, it's at a 250% APY right now. So the AXS is mooning. We'll actually have to take a look at that in a second. And if we figure out a way to incentivize more breeding, then we can really start to burn SLP. So SLP's price is really determined on the mint/burn ratio. The players mint, the breeders burn. When the breeders aren't burning, the price goes down. When the players are always playing. The players are always playing, so there's always minting. When the minting continues, the price goes down. When the breeders breed, the price goes up because they burn the supply. That is the way that the tokenomics are structured. So if we're in a good environment where there's a lot of breeding, there is a way for the DEX, if the DEX launches, and if they further reduce the price of AXS in order to breed, I think that we could see not only 40 cents again, I think we could see higher levels and maybe get a really speculative breakout. Do I see that happening anytime soon? Right now, the chart is still shit. It's really, really bad. It looks terrible. You know, there's no way to get around that. Until we can get above 8 cents and hold above 8 cents, we're still in a downtrend. We're just flattening out. So that's a step in the right direction at least. But as it stands right now, this downtrend is still intact. And SLP is still grinding to the downside as it still maintains a lot of selling pressure. Lower prices in SLP are still anticipated. That's my take on it at the current moment. AXS, however, a bunch of OGs were just airdropped a bunch of AXS. That's going to increase the incentive for breeding. That's a very good thing. We want the breeding to kind of continue. Now, AXS is back up at, well, not back up, it's now breaking out past $120. That means it costs $120 to breed without even, you know, taking into the account that we increased the breeding fee of SLP. The team needs to make another adjustment if it's going to fix what's going on with SLP. AXS is just going to continue to moon. People are FOMOing into AXS right now. I don't think it's a safe place to buy at the moment, although, you know, tomorrow it could be at 400. I don't know what's going on. It's got incredibly high APY at the moment as the pool is filling up. But yeah, you know, if you do know how to trade momentum, you can go down to the smaller time frames and play that game if you know what you're doing. But yeah, it's we need some more burning of the SLP for the price to begin to go up. There is some speculation going on as AXS is mooning. You know, people are going to think, oh, well, SLP will moon next. There's not a big understanding of the characteristics of SLP, so the market may just mark it up. But as it stands right now, there's still a ton of selling pressure in SLP. Do you have a system to analyze fundamentals of projects? Your experience in the crypto market obviously helps you, but many people only got in 2021. Yes, the biggest thing that is of an advantage to people who are showing up now. When I showed up in 2017, I did not have the ability to go and try things out. It was all speculation and promises and here's what's coming down the pipe. That was it. It was a purely speculative game. The advantage to those showing up in 2020 and 2021 is we actually have usable products. We actually have usable dApps that you can go connect your wallet, have a look around and see how things are functioning. Look at how the pools are filling up. There's a ton of data out there. The biggest thing for me is user experience and demand for the underlying asset. So if you're going to look at a project, we'll use the example of Aave, okay? You have a MetaMask wallet, you connect to the Aave protocol, you have a look around, things look great. Wow, there's a lot of offerings here. That makes the governance token go up in value as people speculate on what a valuable protocol it is. But at no point am I required to buy Aave. So there's also a different approach to that where, you know, do we need to buy this token? Figure out if you're required to buy it. AXS, you're required to buy it. You can't breed without it. You're required to buy it. Ethereum, you're required to buy it. You can't do Ethereum transactions without Ethereum. Bitcoin, you're required to buy it. You can't do a Bitcoin transaction without holding Bitcoin. Solana, same thing. You can't mint NFTs. You can't do Solana transactions without holding Solana. There's a lot of projects out there that exist that you don't actually need to buy for the protocol to keep existing. So those two things, get hands-on, how's the user experience, and do you need to buy the token? And those are huge competitive advantages that you have. It's just a matter of you going out and doing your own research. You hear people say it all the time, do your own research, do your own research. I'm not reading white papers. I'm not dissecting freaking schematics and diagrams and trying to understand blockchain tech. It's just, I'm looking. Is it easy to use? Yeah, no, this is a nice user experience. This is undervalued by the market, and we got a technical setup. We're good to go. You made an FTX account. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're not going to be disappointed. Do I think Cardano is the new gold? I think Cardano does way more than gold. I don't even like gold. We're waiting for Elon to start his interplanetary travel for Doge. To the moon! Would you predict another pullback on BTC, or are we moonbound for 67 to 132, etc.? I'm not going to predict a pullback. You know, we closed just under resistance for my target, so I don't do predictions, guys. I don't do predictions. I just analyze the current price. We didn't close a new high, so I anticipated that there's a possibility of a bit of a retracement. Where we retrace to, I have no idea. You're gonna have to go down to the smaller timeframes and see where we begin to find support. But we're trying to get above my resistance, unable to do so, a little bit of a bearish divergence. We need to reset the RSI on the lower timeframes. We could be looking at, you know, maybe this general area back here for support, for a bullish support back here. But I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. I do not have the answers to that. So we could see a retrace back down to 45. I think 45,000 would be a logical, psychological retrace. If we were to get it, get a little bit of support built and take another swing at the resistance, or we just flip right now and we go. You know, it's about weighing the possibilities. A lot of people get really hung up. Well, how am I doing for time here? I feel like I'm rambling a lot today. A lot of people get really hung up on nailing the entry. They want to get into an asset and they want to see it not go down. Sure, yes, that would be great. Yeah, it's not realistic. You know, when you make an entry, it's going to go down more often than not. The most successful investors in the world have a success rate of 30%. It's not about the entry. It's not about, being right. It's about what you do when you're right and what you do when you're wrong. Split your portfolio into positions where you can take calculated risk, get it in, and it either works or it doesn't. When it doesn't work, you lose a small amount of money, and when it does work, you win big. It's an asymmetry. That's the whole way that it works. It's not about nailing stuff. It's really not. People think that technical analysis is some sort of crystal ball that can tell you exactly when things are going to turn around and when things are going to break out. When I observe a breakout, that's all it means is, hey, I'm observing the price breaking out. This is a positive signal to the market where we're going to have market participation and an increased level of speculation where the probability is the order book fills to the bid side. That's all it means. It's an in real time analysis. It's not an in the future analysis. It's a way for you to position now and create a strategy now based on the price action now, not on the price action in the future. I am in the US. Should I create an account under the original FTX site, or should I use a VPN? Please help. Don't get trapped on an exchange that you're not allowed to use. Use the exchanges that you're allowed to use. I know it sucks, okay? I understand. I am very sensitive to the fact that Americans are really kind of underserved in cryptocurrency markets, but you don't want to fuck around, okay? You don't need leverage. You don't need all the coins. You have plenty of offerings available on American exchanges. If you do want, I do like the user interface of FTX. So go to ftx.us, go to thecryptojungle.com and sign up for the free month to get my ftx.us affiliate. But don't mess around, man. Don't mess around. It's just not worth it, because you can get your account frozen at the wrong time, get trapped into trades, get positions liquidated. It's just really not worth it. So play by the rules. Play by the rules. It's not what you want to hear. I understand that. But it's the safest option that you can take, and you really should play by the rules. And if you don't want to play by the rules anymore, then, you know, move out of the US. I'm moving to Portugal. I'm going to try and get a European passport. I'm Canadian, by the way, so I can use these exchanges. But yeah, my goal is to kind of go to more crypto-friendly places. The US doesn't seem super crypto-friendly. They may get better, but they may not. BNB sold BTC ETH. Oh man, you're giving me a hell of a lot of work to do. I only have 10 minutes left. What is my opinion on Quant? 14 million supply, scarcity is real. Let's take a look at Quant. Consolidation. Consolidation. Oh, it's in markup. Oh, it's had a huge markup, guys. This is, you know. Yeah, I mean, there's not much juice left in the tank. It can do another multiple. You know, if this is the theoretical bottom here, let's see what we got. If this is the theoretical bottom, let's do our fib retracement. You know, you could be looking at 500, 600, something like that. Maybe if it went really crazy, we could be looking at something like 1400. Pull in Ethereum from last cycle. But yeah, you know, you just have to wait for the break of structure, which this one's actually lagging. We haven't broken structure yet. Oh no, it might have. It might have. But what do I think about the tokenomics? Nah, I don't really care. You know what decides the price is the order book. Unless you're a scam project that uses bonding curves. But the order book decides the price. So whatever somebody's willing to pay for Quant is how much Quant is worth. Market cap doesn't matter. Supply doesn't matter. It's just about what people are willing to pay. So they take that into consideration with their speculation on what they think is, you know, appropriate. We just need to see a breakout here. So you want to get a break past this downward sloping line of resistance. You want to confirm a daily close above this high. If you can do that, chart's looking good. Right now, considering the market environment and considering what Quant is doing, it's a lagger. So be prepared. You know, a lot of the hype has already probably occurred. Doesn't mean that they can't do an announcement and re-drum up the hype. But given the market reaction that we just had, it hasn't done a whole lot compared to other assets. So keep that into consideration if this is a new position for you. I was just in Lisbon, Portugal recently. Oh, cool. We're actually, my wife and I are going to be heading to Lisbon next year. Lost 100K this year using an exchange I wasn't supposed to be using. That is brutal. They just kept it. That's brutal. Jesus Christ. Crooks. I hope there's something you can do about that. Brazil, El Salvador, yes. What do I think the most undervalued coin right now is? I do think that the most fundamentally undervalued coin is SUSHI. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. I've got to get into the virtual classroom. If you guys are wanting to join VIP, learn how to trade, learn how to analyze markets, learn how to make your own decisions and make your own trading plans so that you don't need to follow call-out groups and follow YouTubers. You can do it all on your own. Then go to thecryptojungle.com and sign up for VIP. If you sign up for an FTX account, you get a free month. So if that's something that interests you, then go ahead and check out thecryptojungle.com. Don't mind all the spelling errors right now as I'm revamping the website. That is all the time I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And if there are any projects that you would like me to take a look at, leave them in the comments section down below. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.